So today we are going to look at the Vitruvian Man. Our concept is to recognise what the Vitruvian Man is and its significance to science and geometry. Our composites for this lesson are to describe Leonardo da Vinci's theories, to discuss what the Vitruvian Man shows us about the human body, to explain how the Vitruvian Man relates to geometry, to use the theory to carry out our own maths experiments. So what will you need? To do this lesson, you will need a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. You will need a measuring tape or a ruler and a camera. This can be on a phone, and someone to help you to measure. The Vitruvian Man. Look at this famous picture. Can you see a circle? Can you see numbers? Can you see a man? Can you see writing? And can you see a square? Who drew the Vitruvian Man? The Vitruvian Man is a drawing by the artist Leonardo da Vinci. Do you know any facts about Leonardo da Vinci? I imagine you know about another famous painting of his, of a famous lady. Find out some facts about Leonardo da Vinci and write me a fact file. Who was Leonardo da Vinci? Leonardo da Vinci was born near Florence in Italy in 1452. He became a world-famous artist. He died in 1519. He was not just an artist, he was a scientist, a sculptor, a mathematician and an inventor. Da Vinci lived in a time called the Renaissance period. During this time, many advances were made in science, education, literature, art and music. Da Vinci is often referred to as a Renaissance man because he was an expert in so many different areas and was able to contribute to the progress made during this time. Some interesting facts. Despite the fact that Da Vinci had a great mind and was considered to be a genius, he never actually went to school. He was left-handed. His name means of Vinci, a village in Tuscany, Italy. Did you know Leonardo da Vinci loved animals and was a vegetarian? This was very unusual during this time. What is the Vitruvian Man? The Vitruvian Man is a pen and ink drawing by Da Vinci. It was drawn in his journal in approximately 1487. The drawing shows a male figure in two superimposed positions. That means one position on top of another. The arms and legs of the figure are drawn in two different positions, while the rest of the body stays in one position. The drawing is based on the work of the ancient Roman architect Vitruvius, who studied the proportions of the human body. Along with the drawing, there are notes written by Leonardo da Vinci and his ideas about the proportion of the man's body and how they relate to geometry. Let's look at this part of the painting. His notes were written in mirror writing, so in reverse to the natural way of writing his language. When reflected in a mirror, the words would look normal. Mirror writing can be used as a type of code so that people cannot read what has been written. Perhaps you could get a mirror and see if you could read it the other way round. What does the Vitruvian Man show us? The architect Vitruvius had several theories, which is what Da Vinci tried to show in his drawing of the Vitruvian Man. For example, one of his theories was the length of a man's outspread arms is equal to his height. How do you think we can test if this is true? Let's test it. The Vitruvian theory contains a total of 10 ratios between different parts of the body, and we are going to focus on 3 of them. First, let's test if his first ratio is true. Is the length of an outstretched arm span equal to height? That's when you put both of your arms out to your side. With someone to help you, measure each other's arm span and height and write them down. How many are equal? How many are different? Does your arm span equal your height? The second ratio we will test is the length of the hand is 1/10 of the height. With your partner, measure each other's height. Then measure the length of each other's hand. Is the length of your hand 1/10 of your height? How do we find 1/10? Well, you divide your height by 10. Or multiply the length of your hand by 10. Is it equal to your height? The third ratio we will test is the length of the foot is 1/7 of the height. With a partner, measure the length of your feet and your height. Is the length of your foot 1/7 of your height? So either divide your height by the number 7 or multiply the length of your foot by 7 and see if it equals your height. You could extend this by creating our own Vitruvian Man pictures. Ask someone to take a picture of you with your arms outstretched and your legs straight, and another with your arms and legs stretched outwards. Once they are superimposed, put on top of each other, you will have your own personal Vitruvian Man picture. Leonardo da Vinci's famous drawing of Vitruvius's human is designed to show that all bodies are similar and proportionate. Based on da Vinci's own measurements in the 1400s, his Vitruvian Man shows these qualities. The length of a man's outspread arms is equal to his height. Did you prove that? From the roots of the hair to the bottom of the chin is 1/10 of a man's height. You could try that. From the bottom of the chin to the top of a man's head is 1/8 of his height. So you could measure from the bottom of your chin to the top of your head, multiply it by 8. Does it match your height? From the elbow to the tip of the hand will be 1/5 part of a man. So if you measure from your elbow to the tip of your hand and multiply it by 5, is that equal to your height? From the elbow to the angle of the armpit will be the 1/8 part of the man. The whole hand is a 1/10 part of the man. The foot is a 7th part of the man. From the sole of the foot to below the knee will be the 4th part of the man. The distance from the bottom of the chin to the nose and from the roots of the hair to the eyebrows is, in each case, the same, and like the ear, 1/3 of the face. The space between your legs will be an equilateral triangle. How many of these can you prove? Write them down and send them to me. Some of the words that we have looked at. The Renaissance period is a time of progress and advancement throughout Europe in art, literature, science and education from the 14th to 16th century. On Get Epic, I assigned so many books about the Renaissance period for you to read, so hopefully you will have done so. The word superimposed means drawn over the top of each other. Proportions are comparing measurements of parts of something and comparing it with the entire thing. And geometry is a branch of maths studying size, shape and position of objects. In our maths lessons, we look at 3D and 2D shapes. We measure things, both in length, we measure weight and we measure capacity. I look forward to seeing some of your measurements and whether you have proved the theory of the Vitruvian Man.